Okay. Man, this feels weird, and the lighting's really bad in here. I guess I should probably just do the classic intro. Um, alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new video. I haven't said that in a long time, but before you get your hopes up, this isn't a comeback video. I'm not doing some big return. I just wanted to give some closure and explanation as to why I stopped uploading. After all that you guys did for me, I feel like I owe an explanation as to why I abruptly stopped uploading around this time last year. It's crazy to think that it was a year ago that I uploaded my last video. In some ways, it feels like ages ago. In other ways, it feels like just yesterday. I'll leave all the soppy crap till the end of the video and just break down really the two reasons why I disappeared. The first reason was the biggest and also kind of fueled the second reason, and that's that my taste in music just started to change. Don't get me wrong, I still love country music, I still keep up with it, and even if it's not what I'm bumping 24/7 anymore, I'm sure it'll come back around. I feel like my music taste has always shifted as I've progressed through different seasons in life. But yeah, I feel like I almost burnt myself out of country music. Whenever I was listening to country, it felt like a chore because I was either listening to a new album to review or I was getting more familiar with an artist's catalog because I wanted to talk about them or whatever. I just lost the ability to simply sit down and enjoy the music because there was always some ulterior motive as to why I was listening to what I was listening to. So, naturally, genres that I didn't have to form an opinion on, genres that I had no agenda with, kind of became my escape. Like, I didn't have to review The Weeknd's Dawn FM when it dropped, so I was able to just enjoy it. I was never going to make a video on Bon Iver, Daniel Caesar, or Adam Melcher, and because of that, I could just sit back and enjoy the music. It's like the difference between reading a book and reading a book for class. Both books could be great, but one has assignments and a schedule attached to it, so you kind of just subconsciously start to resent it. I'd say from around the spring of 2022 onwards, I just kept listening to more and more non-country music until I kind of just looked myself in the mirror and said, dang, you're not even really a country fan anymore. I'll never forget at the end of 2022, everyone was asking for a Spotify Wrapped video. The only reason I didn't do it is because I was worried what people would think when they realized that the majority of my replay had nothing to do with country music. It was The Weeknd, Tory Lanez, Harry Styles, Joji, Daniel Caesar, Brent Faiyaz, and so many more. Out of my top 100 songs, there were legitimately 8 country songs. 1 from Morgan, 5 from Ernest, and 2 from Old Dominion, of all groups. Country acts that I would consider my favorites, like Midland, John Party, Kojo, they were all nowhere to be seen because I had grown to just associate their music with a job. Even though my taste in music has continued to shift and change, and country still hasn't necessarily been my go-to, there was actually considerably more country music in my 2023 replay because with no pressure to make a video about it, I was actually able to just enjoy the music from people like Megan Maroney, Zach Bryan, Gabe Lee, Colter Wall, and so many more. So that's the first reason. Quite literally, my taste in music just changed, and so I began feeling like an actor whenever I recorded a video. It felt really fake to hop in front of a camera and rave about an album that was really good, but I was realistically never going to listen to again. It's nobody's fault but my own. It's not because of any pressure anybody else or you guys ever put on me. Please don't take it like that. It's just my brain really struggled to separate the music I was talking about from the task of YouTube. It all just started feeling like one job. Which leads into my second point. I kind of just got tired of making videos. I love content creation. My 2 favorite things in this world are music and making videos, hence why I started a YouTube channel of me talking about music. But once the passion for the music kind of died out, so did the passion to make the videos about it. I didn't start this channel with the goal of it becoming really big and making a career out of it. I started it because I was bored out of my mind thanks to Canadian lockdowns during the pandemic, and I wanted to talk about music with other people. I literally just wanted other people to talk to that loved music as much as myself. And that's what it was for a long time. I would not have put this much work into the channel if I didn't love it. But as 2023 rolled around, I honestly just started losing interest. Hobbies and passions come and go. This channel was an awesome hobby for a couple years. It was a great run while it lasted, but I just reached a point where I had to be honest with myself and say, I am not really enjoying this anymore. Again, my loss of interest has absolutely nothing to do with external pressure or anything from you guys. This was literally just a case of the passion just wasn't there anymore. And the longer I tried to act like the passion was still there, the more I dreaded the process of each video. My Achilles heel that my mom has always told me about is that I'm very all or nothing. I can't kind of do something. Like, I took a gap year after graduating high school and just went all in on the channel. During that year, I was working part-time at a Marshall's, and every other waking hour was spent devoted to the channel. The channel was a full-time gig, and I loved it, but I wound up burning out. I thought about just taking it down a notch, but again, I'm all or nothing to a fault, and I knew that unless I completely cut ties with it, I wouldn't be able to slow down or take it down a notch. And that is why I stopped uploading. I know some of you guys speculated that I got busy with school, maybe something happened in my home life. Even though I wasn't responding, I saw and appreciated all of the messages concerned with how I was doing, but it wasn't anything deep. I just burnt out, plain and simple. I really went back and forth in my head about making this video. The last thing I want to do is word it wrong and upset some people. I hope I didn't do that. But again, like I said in the intro, after all you guys did for me, I figured the least I could do is provide an explanation and some closure. I didn't want to make an announcement in like April or May of last year in case I decided to come back to it after a little bit of a break, but now, an entire year later, it's become pretty clear to myself that I'm moving on to new things in life, but I couldn't close this chapter of my life without telling the people that made it such a memorable one. It was a darn good run. I never would have imagined the journey that stupid stick figure I drew on an old iPad in a COVID lockdown would take me on. If you told me way back when I started this channel that it was going to take me on several trips down to Nashville, have a Discord server with over 200 people, I was going to be followed by Luke Combs and all these other things, I would have thought you were crazy. And I know that sounds really cliche, but I think the cliches only exist because they're true. Before I sign off, I do want to say a quick public thank you to a couple people in particular. First being Grady. You helped get my channel off the ground and provided me with so many opportunities that I didn't earn or deserve. You were always there to help and give advice, and you are truly one of the most humble guys I've ever had the privilege of meeting. For any of you guys watching, if you're ever wondering what your favorite YouTubers are like off camera, I want you to know what a fantastic guy Grady truly is. I don't say this lightly. He is honestly one of the nicest, most generous people I've ever met. Grady, it was an honor to have you as a mentor along the way. Thank you. Secondly, it has to be Jaren, bro. My partner in crime, dude, my podcast co-host, the OG of OGs. A lot of my favorite memories from this channel are from recording the podcast. I can't stress enough just how good of a guy Jaren also is. He took over the podcast and carried it on his back and did a great job. I will forever cherish those Discord calls and podcast recordings. I can't name everybody, but I do want to shout out everybody over on the Discord server, which is still alive and bumping thanks to Father Joe, who took over and has done a great job there. Shout out to everybody over there, Tom, JJ, Bird, Claire, Joe Warren, everybody else. I'm sorry I can't ring off all 210 names. I logged in the other day and my heart just warmed seeing how active it still is, because that was the original goal, to create a community, and that's what we did. Lastly, I need to say thank you to every single one of you who watched the videos, subscribed, commented, everything. You guys were my inspiration to keep going. You are the reason this channel became what it did, and I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. I hope this video has brought some closure. If you have any other nagging questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to get back to most of them. And yeah, I'm getting emotional. It was a good ride, one I will never forget. I wouldn't trade those 3 years for the world, but it's time to move on to the next chapter of life. For one last time, thank you all so much for watching.